What if I told you that just 3% of white grape skins could completely transform a red wine? We recently held a blind tasting of red wines with white grape influences, part of our deep dive series at younggunofwine.com. Our panel of sommeliers and winemakers picked their favourites, tasted completely blind. This wine, the 2022 Blue Pyrenees Estate Shiraz Marsanne, was selected by a majority of the panellists as one of the top wines. That's impressive for what's essentially an experimental wine. Now, you've probably heard of Shiraz Viognier, the classic Rhone blend, but Shiraz Marsanne, that's rarer. And the kicker from Blue Pyrenees here is that they're not using Marsanne juice, just the skins. Blue Pyrenees Estate is one of the oldest producers in Victoria's Pyrenees region, about 200 kilometres northwest of Melbourne. Blue Pyrenees was established in 1963 by Remy Martin, the Cognac House, as one of Australia's first big investments into modern cool climate viticulture. And today they've got around 150 hectares of vines averaging 50 years of age. That's exceptional. The Shiraz for this comes from their highest point of the estate at 400 metres elevation. Now, 400 metres might not sound high, but in Australian terms, especially for Shiraz, this is significant. That altitude creates huge day-night temperature swings. We're talking 15 to 20 degrees difference between day and night, similar to what you might find in Burgundy or the Northern Rhone. And those cool nights extends the ripening period, building flavour in the grapes while preserving freshness. And for this experiment in 2022, they picked earlier than usual, chasing that brightness. Then comes the Marsanne twist. Whereas Viognier shouts with apricot aromatics, Marsanne's melon and citrus notes are more of a whisper. So they pressed the Marsanne grapes, then co-fermented just 3% with the Shiraz. Grape skins hold the flavour and tannin, while the flesh in the juice provides sugars for fermentation. So by using just the Marsanne skins, they're getting more pure fragrance without diluting the Shiraz. And that 3% has been a magic touch. This wine looks like Shiraz, but it smells like something else entirely. It's seriously lifted, floral, perfumed, almost spring-like. You get vibrant, glossy red berries that really pop out of the glass, wrapped in those florals, followed by notes of savoury complexity with olive tapenade and bitter herbs. On the palate, it starts soft and juicy, then builds with olive and dark chocolate and orange peel. There's this salty, almost mineral edge and crunchy acidity that makes it seriously moreish. The Marsanne gives it this unique silky glide through the middle of the palate. It's livelier than a traditional Shiraz Viognier, but it's not a chillable red either. It's in a zone of its own. Only 100 cases were made, and the next release won't be till 2026. For the full results of our red wines with wine accent tasting, head to younggunofwine.com. Cheers.